Okay, how do we start this?
Brainstorm.
Good morning, Liberty Crew.
Yeah.
No!
Remember we did that with Tor when he pulled out his ass, just blurred it.
I need my phone. Alright, fine. We're just gonna do this. Alright, guys, welcome to our first ever video that's not an adventure.
Big changes.
Big changes. I'm here today with Polly.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Polly.
And then we got Bowers over here. And
Hello.
Today we are doing something that no one has ever done before. We are doing a Q&A for the United States Navy and or just military in general. No one has ever done it before.
Never. I'm
So excited. So we're gonna start with some boot camp questions. I think I got one right here. If you guys want me to start.
Yeah,
That's fine.
So this one comes from the user Interesting Science 74. It says I ship out to boot camp on the November 22nd, and he has 6 questions. 4 of them we are gonna be able to answer, and the other one maybe. So the first one he had was what can I bring and what should I bring? I'm assuming to boot camp. Well, for what you can bring, nothing except for, what was it, writing utensils?
Stuff to write letters.
Stuff to write letters, yeah.
You could bring a religious book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be a certain size,
You
though.
can
I
bring-
don't know what the size is, but it's like...
It's supposed to be a smaller
Medication.
size. Medication.
You can bring medication.
But it has to come with, like, the prescription and everything.
Yeah, and I believe like a doctor's note stating that it is
Yeah.
your prescription.
Right. And then...
For girls, it's like hairbrush stuff.
Yeah, I don't know anything about girls.
Because when you get there, the way it's going to play out is you'll get there, you'll go through the whole shark attack and all that, the fun times, right? And then after that, you'll do your phone call and eventually get into a room and you'll have your backpack or whatever you bring with all your stuff in it. And they'll pretty much tell you what you can keep and the rest of it you put in a box. And when we went through, you put your stuff in the box and then you mail it home to your family.
Everything.
But everything.
Including your phone.
Yeah.
You don't get to keep your phone.
Exactly.
Unlike the, pretty much, I think
It's Army now, I know.
Army and Air Force. The Marines can't keep it either.
No.
Definitely not the Marines. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't keep your phone. Literally everything you have on you besides what we just listed, you can't have.
However, they changed it now where you don't mail it home anymore. They keep the box for you.
Oh.
And at the end of boot camp, like your last day there, they give you the box back with everything.
Really?
Yeah, that just happened like the cycle after mine.
I don't know if I trust that. I'd rather get it mailed out.
Yeah,
A lot of sticky hands in the Navy.
Yeah.
A lot of sticky hands. Second question. What's boot camp like in the Navy? I'm going to break it down real simple for you. I'm going to put a link down in the description with the iconic Navy boot camp video because
Perfect.
we could go on an entire video about what the boot camp's like. That's going to break it down. Not everything, though. There's a lot of stuff that is sugar-coated in that video, but still gives you like the basic necessities of knowing what kind of to expect. But I'll list one thing that I remember the most from, and you guys can do the same too.
Mm-hmm.
I remember mostly learning how to fold clothes.
Bro. Yes. Yes.
That's like 90% of boot camp, bro.
When you get to boot camp, there's these beds that fold upward, and all your storage is down here, right? And the RDCs or the drill instructors teach you on every piece of article of clothing, including your underwear or skivvies and socks. And that's like most of what you do in compartment. That's all like pretty much what you do besides cleaning and getting beaten. Beating is physically working out. For anyone who doesn't know, they don't actually beat us.
They can't lay hands on you.
They can't lay hands on you.
Lay hands on you.
If they do, go cry to Chaps.
Yeah.
That's what they're for their inspections, too. Like, you have to keep them how they say folded.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll get beat, basically.
And not even that, if it's not folded correctly or there's too many discrepancies on you guys, the RDCs get in trouble, hence why they're so anal about it. Third question, which kind of relays back into the second question, what should I do and what should I do while I'm there? Mostly just fucking listen.
Shut the fuck up and listen.
You literally don't have to do anything except for listen. Nothing else. That is the way you're going to survive boot camp. They give you everything. They feed you. Pretty much the only thing they don't do is physically, like help you breathe. That's up to you. Besides that, they provide everything to you. It is, besides the Air Force, I think is more of the easier side of boot camps.
Mm-hmm.
And especially for us CB rates, because 90% of the stuff there, or not even 90, like actually 90, because even the folding the clothes, like we have a full-on closet. We don't even have, my bed's just a bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fourth one, which we can kind of help, all of us are single, but most of us have girlfriends. Do you have any advice for my wife while I'm away? What helped those of you with spouses to keep sane while you were gone? Does your spouse have any advice for her? Well, with me and my significant other at the moment, we just FaceTimed every day, mostly. That's how you really keep it going. Definitely a lot of communication.
You cannot FaceTime in boot camp.
No, while in boot camp. I'm stating like on deployment and like places where you can have your phone.
A school.
In boot camp, you get 3 times to call whoever the hell you want for 1 hour.
Yeah.
All right. They give you in the first little phone cards for free. The rest comes out of your freaking paycheck. But besides that, that's pretty much it. You just get a phone call, and I mean it's 9 weeks long, so you get it like every 2 weeks. You get a phone call. Number 5, how does pay work in the Navy? For some reason, we've been noticing that a lot. A lot of people ask, how do you get paid in the Navy? And it's very simple. I'll give you 2 ways of doing it. I'll give you 2 ways of doing it. One, look up Navy pay chart. It's 01 to 010.
Mm.
And then just as simple as that, time and service. All right, there's a chart. You match the rank with time and service, or rank with time and service, and it will literally show you the pay. Everyone gets the pay. We get paid the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right here, same paycheck. All right.
Yep.
No bonuses
no
or anything like that.
The only bonus you get is your 2.5 days a month given to you that you can use for leave.
Yeah.
It's the only bonus you get. And lastly, after boot camp, do you immediately ship out to A school, or do you go elsewhere first?
That's a good
So
one.
you said that, like on certain situation.
Yeah, certain situations after you get out of boot camp, you'll graduate and you're done with boot camp, but you might get sent to THU, or I believe it's temporary holding unit, and that's just you go to a different ship, which is like the building you live in boot camp. But while you're there, you pretty much just hang out and you'll shine shoes. You'll kind of be like a duty driver if they need you, and you're waiting to go to your next to A school. So that's like, it could be a couple days, it could be a week.
It could be months sometimes.
Yes, it just depends. It's not that frequent. Most times you leave right after boot camp to go to your A school, but it just kind of depends.
Yeah, well, because you go to graduation, after that you have time with your family to go do whatever for that night, but then you have to go back to your ship or compartment, whatever you want to call it, that night. And sometimes, like for me, I had to leave that night like 3 o'clock in the morning to go to the airport to go to A school. So it could be like that weekend you leave, or you could go do that and be gone for weeks, months. It just depends.
Right.
Yeah, I think I left at I think we left the boot camp area at like 6 in the morning, and I caught a flight at like 10 a.m.
Yeah, it was
My
insane.
parents met me at the O'Hare airport.
Yeah, same, bro.
Yeah.
Mine were like, when are you gonna be there? I was like 4 in the morning, and they're like, all right, we'll be there.
It's like, all right. That's it for my questions. So do you want to do one of your questions?
Yes.
And then do you want to pull up one of your questions for after his? I'm going to reset the cameras real quick. All right, second question. Paulie's got the second question for us.
All right.
Seventh.
Yeah. All right, so this one is brought to you in part by Brando So Dope. I just signed my contract as a reservist EA back in June. I'm very excited to ship to basic in a few weeks, but I have a few questions. I'm coming from Texas. Does that mean I will most likely be attached to NMCB 22? So
wait, what did he come from?
He's coming from Texas, and I think NMCB 22 is the reserve.
That's down in Gulfport.
That's Gulfport?
Yeah. Like, that's because, like, here we have 18.
Oh, right.
And something else, I don't remember.
So
I don't know if 22 is in Gulfport or here. I don't
have
remember.
no idea anything about reservists.
okay, so the first 2 questions are for reservists. So I'll move on to the ones that I could answer. So his third question: what is A school like at Fort Leonard Wood? So EAs and EOs go to Fort Leonard Wood for A school, which is in Missouri.
Yeah.
Middle of nowhere. It's really small town on the outside of base, but the base is massive. The CV detachment there is a really small portion of the base. You'll see when you get there. But as for what it's like, it's a pretty strict environment. There's really good instructors there that'll help you get more proficient at your rate. So for you and EA, you'd go to Brown Hall, which is where you do most of your training, and the EOs go out like 7 miles from the barracks on a bus to do their training. But overall, the environment, it's more of a strict environment, but you get taught really well, and it helps you to get a little more prepared for what battalion's like.
You guys drove to class?
Yeah, so you wake up, and like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you go and do PT, and then you go over to the galley that's like on the Marine Corps side, and you'll have breakfast there. Then you come outside, you do a quick muster for accountability, then you hop on a bus, and it drives you like 8 miles out, way out. The EAs are only like a mile from the galley, but the EOs will go way farther out.
So we had to fucking march everywhere we went. That shit sucked.
Yeah. Gulfport was a little,
Gulfport's another story, bro.
Yeah. Anyways, question 4. I'm coming into basic as an E3. Realistically, how quickly could I put on E4?
He's a reservist, right?
You're a reservist.
EA reservist at that.
Very
bro.
fast.
Very fast.
Very
like,
fast.
Maybe, unless you are the most dog shit piece of shit, like absolutely, like nobody likes you, and you don't do anything for your reservist, which I don't even know what you can do for your reservist unit, because you only do like once a weekend or once a month weekend thing, and then like a week long at the end of the year or something. I don't fucking know. But as long as you literally are just breathing and you don't do anything else, I guarantee you could probably pick up.
Because EA is a super small community in the CVs in itself.
Last cycle EA reservist pickup rate.
Because we have like maybe 10 of them here in battalion.
Yeah, there's
like
only
maybe?
117 in the Navy.
Yeah, we have maybe 10 here, and their battalion's 600 people.
Yeah, so I think from what I remember, the last cycle for EAs, reservists up to 3rd class, it was like
almost 100%.
Really close to 100,
I don't know if this is for reservists. Cycle 104.
Active duty's good anyway.
So up to 3rd class. We had someone show up on deployment, and they were EACN. It was their first cycle up for advancement, and they picked up with an MP eval.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is E4. So reservists, there are last cycle, the FY20, cycle 104, EAs, there was 4 eligible, and the quota's 4.
So 100%, bro. That's insane.
As soon as you get to your reserve battalion, you should pick up your first cycle.
Last cycle was, the F19 cycle was 5, so it was a 50% chance. So it went up.
Yeah.
So, sky is looking high for you for E4. Congrats.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Not living out in the slums like us.
Yeah.
So this one's new Navy, new me.
Oh.
So
Kinda cringe.
Just a little, just a hair cringe.
Yeah, he's just asking about BU stuff. So this one says, what qualifications can I turn over to the civilian sector? I want to start a contract business and was hoping I'd either have the qualifications for the duties involved or the experience in case I have to qualify after service. So
wait, he's asking like,
he wants to transfer over all his stuff over to be a civilian contractor, basically.
but he wants to start his own business?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know anything about getting permits or licenses or anything.
Yeah. You can do the math.
If you don't want to start, your own contracting business, I'm sure a lot of contracting businesses
will hire you.
Pick you up in an instance.
Yeah.
I mean, even just having a military background, I feel is a huge advantage for many people getting out of the military.
And once you tell them you did construction for the military, the instant. Like,
no matter what you did, you could be that EA reservist. Alright, sorry, technical difficulties.
This one, so he says, for a married sailor, what do deployments and life look like compared to a single sailor? Work hours, days working, deployment locations, and duty stations. So it's a little bit, so like for CBs, or for BU anyway, I was on a det site, a detachment, so I was in Sasebo, Japan. Well, these losers were in Okinawa in the main base, but
main body in Okinawa, Japan.
You only trust the really good ones to stay in main body.
Yeah,
okay.
The real trusted ones go to main body.
So when I was there, I mean the work is the same for anybody. There's no difference for like if you are married or not, but it's I'd say it's a little more stressful just thinking about your significant other, you know, like worrying about them and stuff. I know, like...
Sorry about it, but if something does happen to your significant other while you're overseas or in a different area, you can contact the Red Cross and you can get them to sign off saying that it's an emergency, and your command has under 72 hours to respond to that yes or no, and if it's no, they have to have a really good reason on why you cannot go.
And 90% of the time they're not going to say no.
Yeah, especially during these times.
Yeah.
During peacetime. Most times it's going to be yes, you can go, of course.
Yeah.
Thing is though, save up your money because you got to pay for that plane ticket.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And especially if you're overseas, the tickets will be pretty expensive.
From Japan to America, it's about from California to Japan, it's about $1,000.
Yeah.
So,
but
keep that in mind.
I mean, just worrying about them, that's the shitty part. But working hours, it really depends on what you're doing, because you could be doing a ton of different things. Like in Oki, I don't know what, I mean, like you were in the communications shop. What were you?
During an Oki?
Yeah.
PAO. Public Affairs Officer. I took pictures.
So like it really depends on what you're doing, but like det sites are known usually for having longer hours, but then it comes with more fun because you're away from the flagpole, so you can you know, you don't have that chain of command right there. Yeah. But it just depends on your chain of command that you have there too, like who's with you and stuff. You have a good group of guys, det sites are usually a better thing, even though there's more work involved. But it just depends. I mean, you'll have really long days and sometimes you'll have short days, but it really just depends. Just keep up, you know, as much as you can talking to your significant other, and it should be fine. I know what my significant other did. She worked a lot. And just try to keep busy, so she wasn't constantly thinking about me being gone.
Yeah.
But and honestly, like the time difference, like if you end up being in Port Onimi, the time difference in Japan, it was bad, but it wasn't horrible because they were still up.
It was 17 hour.
It's like 16 to 17 hours.
Because we're in between the international date lines, so it's the worst time zone difference, and not worse, but the farthest difference because Japan is 17 hours ahead and California is 17 hours behind Japan.
Yeah.
It's literally the farthest time zones you can be apart from each other.
Cause you get used to it quickly though, because when I was up in the morning at like 6 in the morning or so, she was eating like lunch the day behind me, so it wasn't horrible. She'd go to bed when I was like eating dinner, so it wasn't horrible. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It's like 2 a.m. here.
Yeah, like if I would call my family on deployment, if I called them on like lunch and it was noon, it would be like 8 o'clock or something back in Arizona for them.
It'd be like it'd be about like 6 o'clock.
His next question is, how's the combat training and how long is it?
Ooh, ECS.
Fucking awesome. I have the best time in the fucking Navy, bro.
ECS in Gulfport, right?
Yeah, it's in Gulfport.
Biloxi, Mississippi. Alrighty. Probably the best training I've ever had. Bro. It is literally 4 weeks of you shooting guns, really relaxed,
super relaxed
rules, really relaxed rules. The only let's go through the process. So there's 4 weeks, and that doesn't include in-docking. which some people
Which
think
is the best part of it, bro.
It's 2 months. It's 2 months. You muster in the morning, then you're done for the day. It can be up to 2 months, I should say.
Yeah.
And then you just muster in the morning, and you just fuck off for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And but yeah, after you get in, it's what is it? It's health. It's like medical aid.
Like first
week is first aid, medical stuff.
Yep. And second week is your M9 qualification.
Also, for the first week, you do land nav as well.
Oh
yeah.
That's a big fun.
That's fun, especially going out at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go out at night and try.
I'll pull pictures up of some shit I can find.
Yeah.
And then you got the medical one with like the $100,000 dummy that bleeds to
and talks to you,
and has a penis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With pubes as well.
Yeah.
Pubes and everything.
Yeah. Yep.
And then second week is your M9 qualification.
I feel like that's the most boring one.
It is the absolute most boring one. You already qualify for M9 in Bootcamp, so it's kind of just a refresher when you go through it.
You go through obstacles though with it. Like you know how to shoot around walls and stuff.
And 90% chance it's going to fucking rain.
Oh yeah.
When you're there, because I remember sitting in the that was M4 week. But next week, the week after, the third week is M4. And I remember the entire time they make you to get down in the prone position, and it was just rain. And anything about Biloxi, if you know anything about Mississippi, it's just fucking swamp. So nothing drains. It just sits there.
Yeah.
And you just lay in water and you shoot. And then the last week, for me, we didn't do any like the convoy security stuff.
Really?
I didn't get to.
We didn't do that either. Yeah, I didn't do that.
Well, we didn't do the Humvee because it was
Day.
President's
Yeah.
I don't know why the hell I didn't do it, but I know we did the little simulation thingy.
Yeah.
And then
that's my favorite part.
No, not that part. The in class. In class.
Oh, fuck that thing.
Yeah, that thing. It's like a scenario thing. But then after that, it's there are things called simu-rounds, and pretty much what they are is super fast paintballs.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It's like supersonic paintballs.
And the first part I remember specifically because I was up against this EOD guy. And I actually, because it's a test of how fast a person with a knife or a melee weapon can get to you. And there's this whole thing on it, videos, you can look it up. I remember he came at me with the dummy knife, of course, and I shot him. And I remember when I did it to him, he shot me right on the knuckle of my finger.
Oh my god.
Right there, me holding it, and he shot me like right there. I remember my finger was just numb throughout the entire day, and just a giant welt formed right on my knuckle, so I couldn't bend it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the coolest part about that is after you do that, it's like you're in like a squad basically, and you go to 4 different scenarios, and like there's one where like the instructors will dress up and pretend like they kidnap someone, and you got to go through this scenario and stuff. Like you take everything you learn, they prepare you. You take everything you learn from that, and you go into the situations, and you just. Like when shit goes off, you can start shooting at them and stuff. It's a lot of fucking fun.
It is. And like the whole time before you go out there, they pretty much tell you like how you should respond to each scenario. So I know for the one where they bring out like a POW, they tell you like the day before, like, hey, if someone brings out a POW, just unload into them.
Yeah, you start shooting them.
Just start shooting, and then but most of the time people forget when you go to the next day.
That's the part that messed us up is they don't just designate one, like in your group. The first situation they'll usually be like, hey, like you're first class, you're high ranking, you're gonna lead this group. But then the next one they'll choose around. Like I was leading one of them and I was the lowest ranking there. So it's not like, don't think you're gonna get out of that, because that they'll pick anybody, be like, all right, you're leading it, you tell them what to do.
So. Oh yeah, because I'm still E1 and I was in charge of one of the scenarios.
Commander in your fucking group.
Alright, you done with that one?
Yeah.
Alright, I got a great one. It does have something to do with the CBs, but it's not a CB rate, and I feel like this will be really nice to maybe bash in on some of the headquarters types. Questions about support ratings at CB commands. Hello, I'm an LS2 up for orders right now, and I was wondering if anyone could tell me what it's like being attached to a CB command as an LS or any other non-construction rate. It is cake, right?
So cake.
Let me tell you something, okay? So, I'm an equipment operator, and I showed up to the command February of last year in 2020, and when I first showed up, everyone goes through HPL. It's where you're at, and that's where you are checking in with whatever company you're going to. So I was checking in with Alpha Company. The day I left, though, they told me I was going to our S6 shop, which is the communication shop. They deal with the radios and stuff. And I was there for a year and a half. And that's headquarters company. Being in headquarters company, it was a good time. It was really laid back. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a good example of this is we're currently coming up to one of our exercises, and me as an echo company, we're main body, so we're supporting headquarters, and the whole battle rhythm was supposed to be every company does their own tents for exercises, except for headquarters. So all the headquarters types they came and helped a little bit, but they also kind of just assigned other CVs from command other companies to work on their tents for them. So yeah, especially for an LS, you'll be an admin. Obviously, I think you already would have known that. But it's a cakewalk, at least from our eyes. It looks like a cakewalk.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's probably challenging
stuff, yeah.
being in an LS and having 700 CBs.
Can I get new boots, please?
And just fucking be.
So, mine is from Trainer Cujo. The question is, I know you can't have, it's about your phone. I know you can't have it during basic training, but I was wondering if they took it in A school and MEPS as well. Really easy question. So, MEPS, when you show up there, you have to put your phone and the other stuff you brought in a little cubby, and it stays there until you're done at the end, or if you're taking off for boot camp that day, you get it back before you leave.
Yeah.
And then you get taken away in boot camp.
Yeah.
So we use it on the plane, bus, wherever the hell. I came from Milwaukee, so it was like a 45-minute drive.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, and that was it.
But when you get to A school, after you graduate boot camp, you'll get all your stuff back, and in A school, I know at least for my A school, we weren't allowed to have our phone out when we were out at class, or we couldn't have it with us. So it was one of those things where you kind of just like kept it in your room, and you just left it there. But then if it was the weekend or after work, before work, you had your phone, you can use it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that pretty much sums that up.
Like during A school, like when you're in the schoolhouse, you had to leave it in your room.
Yeah.
You couldn't bring it to the schoolhouse because there's classified information.
And don't try to be all smart, like trying to hide it, because they'll do health and wellnesses, like all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Where like they'll literally pat you down, you pull out your pockets, you open your bag, and then you search everything.
Yeah.
So
unless you're fucking keystering that thing in your prison wallet, you ain't escaping it. All right.
Yeah. Because
like,
even like with phones, like I knew people, we couldn't bring like, if you smoke at all, you can't bring vape, cigarettes, tobacco.
Like that,
we couldn't bring it out to phase
big
out.
thing in boot camp too that a lot of you guys probably don't know at this point. You can't smoke.
Yeah.
No smoking or vaping in boot camp. No alcohol consumption. I hope you knew that. But nothing. All right. And a lot of the RDCs do smoke. So a lot of you smokers will smell the smoker's breath on the RDC, and you'll get that craving.
Yeah.
So good luck to you guys. Unfortunately, I did not vape or smoke before the Navy. The Navy has introduced me to a lot of nicotine, so here we go,
Yeah, so if you're doing it now and say you're in the DEP program or something like that, I recommend trying to quit now before you get there.
Because you're not quitting when you're in the Navy. No. You're not. Yeah. If you have it, you're going to have it because you're around it all the time, and especially here in the CVs.
All the time.
Yeah, you can't really escape it because one of the big things for when you have an addiction, at least I know, is you're supposed to keep yourself away from situations that contain what you're addicted to. So if it's alcohol, probably don't want to go to parties that involve alcohol mostly. And for nicotine, you probably don't want to be around smokers or people who vape. And that's 90% of everything. Like when you're on exercises, don't try to quit. Smokes. Don't try to quit on a fucking exercise.
No, everyone smokes. Like someone you even know smokes, you'd be seeing at the smoke pit like, I didn't know you smoke, and they're like,
yeah, I just do a little bit sometimes. Yeah. And the smoke pit isn't really a smoke pit. It's just where everyone conglomerates. Like there's non-smokers that come to the smoke pit and it just to hang out and talk.
Yeah.
But if you already smoked before the Navy, try to quit before you join. Not because also it's actually healthy for you. You know, like, smoke to start and begin with, but you can also. No, I can't say that. I was like, you can just put on your medical records that you don't smoke.
Yeah,
Cut that.
Cut it.
Okay, whatever. I can't.
By the way, we decided mid transition. This is our first podcast. Welcome to the Liberty Brief Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We Polly came up with the magnificent name. He also came up with this Q&A. So thank you, Polly, for this magnificent idea.
Absolutely. I'm here for you
guys. The mastermind here. Tora Grossa came up with the name for this channel. Now Polly's thinking of the podcast name. I don't really want to call it a podcast though. Kind of more of a rant.
A rant.
It really is a rant. But either way, this is how it's gonna go from now on. If I decide to fucking upload it consistently, I suck at it. I really do, and I apologize. We're gonna have the Liberty Brief Podcast, right? Because all right, here you go, a little military lesson. Because I don't know what it is, dude. Reddit. The more I keep reading these, the more it seems like nobody researches the military. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that I didn't do that. I totally didn't. I just came in like that. But I'm trying to. Now being in it, I realize I fucking should have.
Yeah.
100%. But I guess nobody just does their research beforehand.
There's a lot of
literally just look at YouTube videos
too, about it.
Like look at what we're doing right now. We're just doing YouTube videos.
Yeah.
But this is how it's gonna go. We're gonna have the Liberty Brief Podcast because in the military, in order to go to Liberty, your Liberty hours, you're going to have a Liberty Brief.
Yeah.
Before you can go do your own shit, right? For the weekend or holiday weekend, or whatever, extended weekend, whatever. Even for leave, sometimes you get a Liberty Brief.
Yeah.
But so it's gonna go a Liberty Brief, and then a Liberty Hours video. I mean, fuck, I'm gonna have to teach one of these fuckers how to do editing videos. Shit. But that's how it's gonna go, and I think that's gonna be beneficial because TikTok is destroying YouTube.
Yeah, it is. It's crushing.
But anyways, let's get back to this. So I got what you brought up before the podcast, or the rant. Gamble on CE or shoot for BU. So we got a BU here, and I'm a CE. That's a builder and electrician for people who just are watching this for some reason. If you're not
for fun.
For fun. So for me personally, I would say go CE. And the only reason why I would say CE, and I'm sure Bowers here can agree, because everybody who is a CB rate
is a BU.
Besides alpha types, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Alpha types, which are EOs and CMs, and exclusion of the EAs. EAs,
EAs are...
They're more admin.
They're rare anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not,
they're the rarest rate in the Navy.
So, quick tangent. I'll let you get back.
Okay.
But, so you have the 7 CB rates, right? So, how it's usually set up, you'll have the 3 main companies, so Alpha, which is EOs and CMs, as he said. You'll have Bravo Company, which is your CEs and UTs. And then you have Charlie Company, which is SDubs and BUs. And then there's still one missing, that's the EAs. So where are they at? They're in Headquarter Company.
Yeah.
So...
because they're doing the blueprints and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And those rates can get mixed in different companies, though. It's not like you have to be that. It's just the main. Like
Pulley here, he was a Headquarters company, but he's supposed to be an Alpha company, so it doesn't really matter. But in a perfect world, the Charlie and Bravo types are gonna pretty much do their all the same stuff. Unless it's super pertaining to that specific rate, everyone's gonna go into each other's rates. So, but everybody who's a Bravo and Charlie type will always, and I've done more BU work than I have done CE work. So everybody is a BU in the CBs.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone lays concrete, frames, hits a hammer and the nail, all that kind of stuff. And these two can agree. It's just, everybody is a BU besides Alpha and CN. Sometimes. Now,
very rare occasions.
If you're on a det, you're probably going to be a BU as well if you're an Alpha type.
Right. But, because most of the time, BUs, they have to do their shit in order for you guys to do your shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
if anything else, if you guys weren't helping us, then you'd just be sitting around.
Yeah, exactly.
So they just kind of... It's really everybody all hands on all projects, really.
Yeah, exactly. The only camera we have right now, so I'm...
Yeah, this question, I like this question because I get to be Joe Navy in this video.
Alrighty. Now we don't have to sync it though. Alrighty, our other camera over there died. Sorry, this is it's a trial and error run, alright? So don't judge us too hard, alright? And this episode is sponsored by Bang Energy.
Bang Energy.
Please,
I drink
sponsor
it
us.
all the time.
I drink it every day.
I have Bang in my cup right now.
I literally have like 3 empty cans of Bang in my truck right now. It's
Standard issue.
Standard issue. PGI gives it to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, what's your question?
Okay, so this question comes from Greedy Walker 03, and she asked about failing the PFA, the first one you take, or when you get to boot camp. So when you get to boot camp, there's 3 PRTs you take, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only 2 that really matter is your first and your third one.
Yeah.
But in the first one, like partially. So when you show up, you're at P days, and I think it's like the 4th day or something.
Yeah, it's pretty early.
Yeah, it's like the day after you get your medical stuff done.
Yeah.
You take, the day after that, you take your first PRT, and what they're looking for, so...
As you were saying.
Okay, so, technical difficulties, everyone. But, as I was saying, so the first PRT you take in boot camp is... It's just your baseline, so for push-ups and planks, from what I remember... It
was sit-ups for us, but now it's fine.
Yeah, it was sit-ups back in the day.
Back in the good old days.
But now for you going to boot camp, it'll be planks instead. So those, you don't you want to pass them when you get there for the baseline, but technically you don't have to. The one you do have to pass though is your run. So if the person who posted this was saying, she's scared she's gonna fail or she's already accepted the fact that she's gonna fail it, but you should not go to boot camp like, oh, I'm gonna fail the first PRT.
Yeah. You can be nervous.
Yeah.
Nervous is fine, because I was very nervous on my first PRT too, because I didn't know that they didn't grade the push-ups and sit-ups.
Exactly.
I didn't know that, so I treated it as a real PRT. So, and I believe I passed. Honestly, I'm gonna be humble and say I didn't pass.
Yeah.
Me too. But I know for a fact I did pass my final one, because in the final one they count everything.
Yeah.
That's a real PRT. That's your first actual PRT.
In the Navy,
yeah.
First
In the
recorded
Navy.
one.
First recorded one. And I remember, I think I got an excellent low for that, which...
Same, bro, which is so dumb of me.
Yeah, it was great, because as soon as I got to my next one, I went down, because I had access to any food I wanted.
Yeah.
You've had in the Navy, so in the CV community so far.
So you want to just
I'll start it. So I'm just gonna cut that whole last part. So we're gonna wrap up this rant with one last thing, and I think it'll be pretty good, because we've already given you a pretty good laydown of how the CVs are from boot camp till about when you step foot in NMCBs. We don't know anything about anything else. If we said anything else, like the Navy SEAL stuff, we don't know anything about, all right? We know a little bit, but not enough where you can quote us on anything, so don't fucking quote us.
Don't go to boot camp and start writing Liberty Hours on the bathroom stalls. We're not
Liberty Hours said this and said that. Obviously, you have more questions about anything, which would be great. If you want to leave questions down in the comments, we can totally answer those 100%.
Maybe we'll do another video.
We'll definitely do another one about other things rather than Q&A. But we can add a few questions in the next one.
Yeah.
You know, it's the possibilities are endless. All right, we're trying to have a window into something that isn't really recognized in the Navy anymore. Even though there's some really bad times and really good times, and sometimes I don't like it, but sometimes I love it. I want to at least show light on what I do or what we do in the Navy. And also to just capsule the memories in time here. So the last question I think would be cool is your coolest, best, or craziest moment or experience in the CV community so far. Do you want to start?
Yeah, sure, I'll start. So, I would have to say the coolest moment, at least for me, was on deployment. I got to fly out on an exercise with it was like 6 of us CBs, and it was something like 100 Marines.
I'll pull some photos too from our Facebook page.
Yeah.
For this as well. I'll show y'all.
And for me, it was, we got out there, we went over to one of the Marine Corps bases out in Okinawa, and we were flying Ospreys out to an island that was off of Okinawa. And for me, that was awesome because I've never flown in like a military aircraft before that. And when I got out there and I was on the second chug to go, so I saw the first people go. And when those things flew overhead and like the sheer power coming off of those, like,
I'll put a video in too. I have a good video. I have a good video of the Osprey landing and the sheer wind force of the push force of the Ospreys. They are immaculately strong on the wind force.
Oh yeah, like I stood there thinking like, oh yeah, I'm a big guy, like I can stand this, and like immediately regretted it. I was about to fall backwards on my ass. But I saw them go, and then when I got on there and it took off, that was just the most exhilarating thing I've done so far. And I had a blast with that, and training with the Marines, such a fun time.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think a bad notion too, and the Marines hate it too. Yeah, we're gonna give fucking shit on the Marines about being crane eaters and jarheads and all that. But honestly, the Marines, and especially the engineering Marines that we work with a lot of times, they're literally the same fucking people as us. Yeah, we're fucking stupid. All right, I'm not gonna say they are because I honestly don't know them that much. I've met like 4 of them personally. Yeah. But yeah, we're dumb. Okay, we do a lot of stupid shit as you've seen for previous videos, but. They're fucking great. I don't have one single bad memory working with the Marines at all.
No.
They honestly have, in my opinion, way better work ethic than us. 100%. At least with the squads and where I've seen, they don't have a limit. They don't. They just keep going.
If they're not told to stop, they will keep going.
They will die.
Yeah. It's
for CBs, it's like
15 minutes
looks like it's about
16. Hey, it's Black Flag. I need a 20-minute break.
Yeah,
no,
16:30.
These fuckers will work until they're dead. Yeah. So I want to shout out Marine engineers. They're great. I like working with you guys. Really cool. But as you were saying.
Yeah, I definitely had a blast with the Marines, and it was just one of the parts I really liked too is because I went on FEX before deployment. And we got to do more tactical stuff during FEX, you could say. Mm-hmm. But when I went out with the Marines and saw like the sheer strategy of everything they do and like how well organized like the machine works, it was crazy. Because being a part of that, like everything they did was so well organized. I had such a fun time actually learning more of the tactical side of like the infantry and stuff like that, because I got to work with the infantry when I was out there, and they are so well put together. It was a good time.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that was my coolest memory.
Awesome. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, you can go.
Cool. I mean, this is a really easy decision for me. The Mccree, which is also with Marines. Marines just have a crazy exercises. Like, we have our FEX, and it's like pretty much the entire battalion in one place, but the Marines have their entire unit spread out like hundreds of miles apart from each other in departments in each areas. Like, it is crazy. So the Mccree Project, I can't tell you what the acronym is. I think it's Marine Reconnaissance Engineering something. But as I was being PAO, Public Affairs Officer, taking photos in that, shout out to MC2 Parker if he's watching. I'm pretty sure he's subscribed to the channel. So shout out to that guy. He's awesome. He's amazing guy. We got to go around Okinawa, the island. It's a relatively small island. It's 63 miles long, but it's still a relatively small island speaking. Mm-hmm. But there's Marines in 3 different areas, and I got to experience all 3. Well, there's 5, but I experienced 3 of them while I was there. The first one was out on an island called Iyashima Island, and they were out there building sea huts and tent decks out there, and it was a beautiful sight to see. You're right there on the ocean, just nothing but ocean right there, right next to an AC-130 airstrip. And I remember the coolest part, and there's 3 coolest parts. I can't distinguish just one in this thing. There's 3. I was sitting on the runway of this airstrip. Obviously, okay, whatever. Pause. I was sitting on this runway, and what was supposed to happen was not an AC-130, by the way. There's 2 different. C-130 is cargo. AC-1 is the one with the tank cannon sticking out of the side of it. All right, that's the really cool one that you see in Call of Duty. That's the difference. So a C-130 is a troop hauler / cargo holder, and so a C-130 was supposed to land on the airstrip while I was on it. I was on the end. It was supposed to land on the far side for me. And I remember laying down on the airstrip as it was coming in for a flyby, or maybe a landing, and it just didn't want to land there. And the C-130 flies over at no more than 150 feet. I have a video of it. I'll put it in. And it flies straight over me. I have a camera on a tripod, and it flies over, and I follow it. That was fucking amazing. But even better was when it actually started to land. The runway was had a bow to it. So as the C-130 landed, it disappeared behind the horizon. And all of a sudden, I see a bunch of dust pop up in the back, and all of a sudden you see this ginormous plane slowly rising over the horizon. That's the end of the first Liberty Brief podcast. We may or may not change the name. I like the name personally. Yeah. I think it has a cool concept to it. My idea was the Bee's Knees podcast. Yeah. CBs. But yeah, thanks for watching. Do you guys have any closing remarks?
I think this is a nice.
Nice change.
A nice change, like the channel was great, but this kind of branches out into some new stuff.
Yeah, and that's not saying that we're changing up. We're still going to go on adventures and stuff.
Yeah.
But hey, gas prices are fucking high.
Yeah, so horrible.
Kind of got to limit our adventures.
We gotta not limit, but we want to provide more content.
Start using the Chevrolets a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. But
yeah, it was my debut. So
it was Bauer's debut. He has not been in a video yet. Hopefully he'll be in many more. Yeah.
I had a mask on in it, but I was in the Return to Okinawa video.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you saw me.
Yeah. But he was the one talking about elephants fucking.
Yeah, it was the life cycle, okay.
And White Day.
Okay, well, it's a holiday. Before you say anything, before you hit up the comments, look it up. It's a holiday.
But yeah.
About white. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Any closing remarks?
No. Enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for you guys watching. If for some fucking reason you're still at the end of this god-awfully long, this will be the longest video ever on the fucking channel.
You're the real one.
You guys are the real ones. And we appreciate you so much. Giving us that watch time.
Yeah.
And if you're still here and you haven't subscribed yet, what the fuck? You just wasted like an hour on yourself and you aren't subscribing? You might as well.
Shitbag.
You might as well at this point. And at the end of the day, go fuck yourself. Cut that.
Everything we said was not right, so.
Oh yeah, we have to put this in too. If we quoted or if we said anything about the Navy or anything about Any controversial stuff, this does not reflect or anything on the DoD, Navy, military,
CBs, NCF,
anything that involves the military or government. It is not their belief. It is not what they think it should be. This is our personal beliefs, opinions, and nothing else but that. So I appreciate you all watching. If you haven't, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next Liberty Brief. Have a good time. Enjoy your Liberty hours.
Not bad for sure. Who that guy tonight?